Hey everybody, this is annienoodle and I'm actually filming an intro today. I don't know why, because it's like making me think I'm organized and I'm so not. I am like 100% behind. I need to get this video done today because it needs to get uploaded so that you guys can watch it tomorrow. And in this video, what are we doing? What are we doing? Well, first we're gonna do some painting with these cute little tubes of gouache that I got in this really cool tin that if you haven't watched my short, you should go watch that because I'm trying to branch out and think of new ways to like explore content creation. Yeah. So you should go watch that. Anyways, the tin's really cool. And then we're gonna try some gold leafing. It was terrifying, but really fun. So stick around and watch the video to the end if you want to see that. Yeah, let's go make some art.
Hey guys, so this is voiceover Annie Noodle, and we are getting right into painting this watercolor portrait that was part of the cnscalling challenge with Maggie over at Creating Cute Art and the fabulous Dr. Sketches over at Sketches and Scrubs. And I personally was asked to participate in the challenge by Moni D. Major's channel. So you should check out all those channels. I'll have them linked below. They are all awesome ladies. I'm trying as I paint this to show you what I'm using for my art supplies. For this particular part, I am just using my usual single pigment Mission Gold. And now I'm moving into the Schmincke Random Gray that I love. I love so much. And I am, at this point, moving into PBK 11, the Lunar Black, that's a granulating black. And I'm at this point thinking that I'm painting this whole thing as a watercolor portrait. That is how I'm approaching it at this point. Also, I want to say that this washi tape absolutely did not hold this paper down. This is the New York Art Supply paper that I got from Jerry's Artorama. And I haven't had problems with the washi tape before, and I swear I've used it on pretty wet washes, so more research to come there. So like I said, when I started this, I was going to do it as a watercolor portrait. And then I got a bunch of Holbein gouache in that really adorable kitty tin. And I was like, oh, well, let's start a gouache portrait. And every time I paint a gouache portrait, I realize I've only painted like 3 gouache portraits ever. It's a hot mess. My gouache paintings, like the ugly phase of my gouache paintings, especially the portraits, is so long. I was almost finished with this painting and I was still just like, is this trash? I think it might be trash. I mean, this poor woman honestly looks like she has 5 o'clock shadow for most of this video. I do like the finished result a lot. So, yeah, it makes me very happy. But wow, the ugly phase in this was very, very painful. So the fact that this painting was kind of a struggle is actually kind of in tune with this challenge. Because this was a portrait painting challenge that they put on because they wanted to get more comfortable doing portraits. And if I'm remembering right, like one of them painted this woman. I can't remember if there's a reference photo originally. And then the other one painted this woman. And then the other one painted it again without using, they were using each other's paintings as the reference at that point. So if that makes sense, it'd make more sense if you watched their videos, I'm sure. But it's been so long since I watched their videos, and I meant to watch them before I posted this so that I didn't sound like an absolute goober when I was talking about it, but I just didn't get to that. So anyway, and then I think Moni painted hers on a live stream, maybe. Yes. Yes, she did. Because I said that I would happily take the next portrait in the challenge. So I don't actually have anybody in mind to take the next portrait. Like, I think I'm supposed to, tag the next person in. And I don't remember who all is on the list. So maybe I'll just tag somebody below in the doobly-doo. So, so the idea for this painting, for this specific iteration of this painting, which I don't even know if I'm doing this challenge right, but this is what I wanted to paint, so I went with it. Um, so I work at a Halloween place, and I mean, like, I work all year long. We like design costumes and stuff. So we got this sample for a crown in, and I was wearing it around and taking pictures of myself. And I thought it looked kind of spacey. Like, it just, I don't know, made me think that if I was a gigantic space woman and I had like some kind of intergalactic space station on me, I would want a giant pretty crown just because. Also, I just wanted to say that she is supposed to like be a nebula or be a part of a nebula or live in a nebula. I don't know. I don't know if it comes across as nebula-y because I don't really paint a lot of stuff in space. So I'm just letting you know it's a nebula, and you guys can let me know if it reads as that to you. So her eyes look goofy for like the longest time. Like I think I left them looking a little bit crossed like this for a couple days. And then I came back and fixed them eventually and I was like, "Oh, that looks a lot better." Um the problem with the ugly phase of a painting is that you're always a little scared that you're never going to leave the ugly phase of a painting. So sometimes I feel like I almost leave things that I can see are bad right away. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to try to fix that because what if I fix it and it still looks really bad? You know what I mean? The only part I think that I would want to fix of this painting that I'm not going back to fix because I signed it and it is done. I think her lips ended up looking really cartoony, like more cartoony than the rest of her, and I would go back and fix that, I think, if I could, but I can't because I signed it and it's done now and I'm never touching it again. Uh, so let's talk about blending gouache a little bit because I feel like I learned a lot while I was painting this, and I intentionally planned on painting some thick underlayers and then painting kind of more watery layers over them because then you can blend with the underlayers a bit more. And I don't do that everywhere in this painting, but there are a few places, especially you'll see with the yellows, that I really liked painting thicker yellows underneath and then coming back and blending on top of those. And it gives kind of like a little kind of fiery cloud look that I really think worked really well. I did not use a reference for this picture. I really struggled with that because I really like using references. The only things I looked at when I was painting this is to see the previous paintings that came in this painting challenge to make sure that the thing that I was thinking about painting was similar enough to still fit in the challenge. And I think I did okay. I think her hand position was wrong, and I was like, oh, well, that's too late. I'm not fixing that now. So here you can see how what I mean when I say I'm blending, like especially the yellow underlayers. I really like how this turns out here. It's very soft, but you can still see the yellow really easily, and yeah, it made me happy. Now I'm painting a little rocket. So the rocket and the crown are really the only things that stayed in this painting that were in like my original ideas. I they weren't even like they were the only things that actually made it to a sketch. Like when I started like thinking about this painting, I wanted her to have like seriously like an international inter not international an intergalactic like space station. Like I wanted there to be lots of ships coming and going and lots of like interesting platforms to land on. And then it just turned into this because I wanted it to be more simple because I feel like I've been doing a lot of more complicated things lately, and I just wanted to be like, here is this very simple thing. And speaking of simple, I loved painting this little rocket. Is it called a contrail in space? I don't know. So this little rocket cloud, just this little simple white cloud blob was really fun to paint. I don't know if it was just because it was so small and that made it really easy, or I don't know, it was just so different than the rest of the giant piles of clouds I'd been painting everywhere on this piece. And this time I remembered to go back and try to hit some of those little white spots in the background. Yeah, I really do not like white showing through when I am painting gouache, like those little dots. Oh, no, that bugs me. And it's really hard to get rid of them on cold press paper, but I just remember how bad it looked when I was painting with that black 3.0 and I did that bunny painting. And there were like a few little dots of white in the back, and I just like, oh, it bugged me.
Well, hey guys, so I am pausing briefly here to kind of show you where we're at because I am going to, for some reason, try gold leaf for the first time on this illustration that I've spent hours on. So I'm a little nervous, but it's okay. So if after this it's a hot mess, you'll be like, yep, she should have probably practiced that before doing it on a finished piece, huh? Yeah. So here's what it looks like right now.
Yeah, it was definitely hard to. Um, actually like how it looked at this point, and it was hard to be like, and now I'm gonna try an experimental thing. So this is the gold leaf adhesive, and I had actually just Von Art just did a video about doing gold leaf, and it's amazing, and you should definitely watch it if you want to learn how to do gold leaf because he's amazing at it. Tim Von Ruden is amazing at adding gold leaf, like it is his like trademark, right? Um, when you add ink to it like that, it just helps you see where you're putting the adhesive so that you know where you need to put gold leaf and where you've already put adhesive. And I mixed in ink, which is a good plan, right? It's helpful. And my ink was an acrylic ink. I wasn't thinking about it, so it just made little blobs inside there, and I was like, oh, okay. All right, so here I am applying the adhesive with a brush and a little dotting tool. It's not really complicated. You're really waiting for this to basically be dry until it's tacky, and then you put on gold leaf. It takes, I don't know, like 15 minutes. Yeah. And here's what it looks like when I have all the glue on and before I start putting on the gold leafing. And this is the kind of gold leaf I used. I also got this at Jerry's Artorama. And guys, it was so satisfying to play with this stuff. If you have not played with gold leaf yet, I highly recommend it. It was very fun. I have a lot to learn, and the gold leaf part of this, I like the way it turned out, and I actually think I learned a lot about how I want my gold leaf to look. I assumed that I would want my lines to look very clean and crisp, and I don't actually think that suits my character. Like, and it doesn't usually suit the character of my paintings. And the reason these lines are not clear and crisp is because A, I was trying to hurry, and B, this is cold press. So I wasn't thinking about it, like how hard it is to get clean lines on a cold press paper, but that's fine. Like I said, it was a learning experience, and I am still really happy with how she turned out. It's just that, like, her cool little crown looks a lot more like organic, and that's not a bad thing. Oh, and then you can like save all of the little gold leafy bits. So I just put them back in a bag, and you can reuse them. And then I decided I was gonna go in with like my fine tech shinies to hit all of the things that gold leaf didn't stick to. And we are at the tape peels, my friends. The tape peels. And this is what she ended up looking like. I really like her. I would really love to know what you think. And have a great week, guys. Bye bye.